Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. I am still Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It is still in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. I am T Mosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we're discussing a watch launched in 2010 to celebrate 50 years since the original ultra-thin Piaget automatic caliber 12P. What you're looking at is the Altiplano XL. This is a 43mm rose gold watch launched in 2010. The example you see here was sold in 2013. 43 in diameter is self-evident, but what you might not have guessed is that it is only 5.15 millimeters thick as I measure it. At the time it was released, it was the world's thinnest automatic in production, and it remains absolutely astounding today in that regard. It measures 47.8 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now when I throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see it's easy to wear, super flat flush. It's already sliding underneath my cuff. This is a dress watch par excellence. Now, it's not a shrinking violet. You can see, being a large watch, it's got a lot of presence, but its presence is accompanied by good manners. This isn't, say, a Royal Oak offshore survivor. It is also super flat to the point that it sits lower than some of my wrist hair. Now, over the top always exaggerates the width of a watch across the wrist, so take that with a grain of salt. Let the defining angle be this down the barrel shot, where you can see the watch is out to the edge of my wrist, but not over. I think you could wear this watch on a wrist my size or larger, maybe even 15 centimeters circumference if your wrist is super flat. Again, my wrist is 16. The strap, high grade, medium rectangular scale alligator leather and large. Both scale patterns are present. It is dark brown with a matte finish. It has a monotone stitch, and you can see in profile, it has a folded edge, calfskin on the bottom, a Piaget factory strap, no crimping, no gouging, brand new. Taking a look at the buckle, it too is a Piaget piece, very simple, rose gold and polished. The case, again, super simple. Strong, angular, stepped out lugs that have a little bit of an undertuck profile at their end. A blade-like case with a very narrow sheer side and then a super flat conical bezel. We have the Piaget P logo on a crown that is media blasted and polished, and it all gives way to a dial that is 3-level stepped. So we have our small seconds, center dial, outer dial. At the quarters, that is 12, 3, 6, and 9, we have double indices, and we have blackened hands for contrast against the soft opaline frosted dial base. And now turning it all over, by the way, I do want to mention there's one unexpected feature here, which is the use of a hacking seconds function on an ultra-thin watch. That is not always the case, and it's certainly not the case on the Bulgari Octo Finissimo automatic. Caliber 12P came out in 1960, and 50 years later, the 1200P caliber debuted. Now this is the 1208, small seconds version of the 1200. You can see it's got a beautiful micro rotor that allows you to have the open display back vista unobscured, just like you'd have on a manual, and the thin profile of manual, but you get all of that with the convenience of an automatic. Now it has a 42-hour power reserve and it beats away at 3 Hertz. It pivots on 27 joules, and it's nicely decorated. Some of my favorite features include the engine turning on the base plate, the ripple style off-centered Côte de Genève across the bridges. We have a panoply of screws, both polished screws and fire-blued screws, which I always enjoy. A unique Piaget micrometric regulator that is brand specific. The bevels are primarily machined, but I have to say that the bevels here are as good as you get on JLC or Audemars Piguet, and that's high praise for a company like Piaget, which is not often discussed in the same breath as those companies. You realize the quality of what you get and how few people recognize that quality. We have solarization on the ratchet wheel, and you can wind it automatically if you wish. Again, 42-hour power reserve, beautifully decorated. The movement only 2.35 millimeters thick, enabling this incredibly slim watch. And you can see that it's a very simple understanding of watchmaking as I turn the crown wheel via the winding pinion. A series of intermediates energize the barrel via the ratchet wheel, and then the drivetrain, which you can track by these little violet pivot jewels, runs down to the escapement. All this 20 meters water resistant, so you don't want to submerge it, but in every other regard, this is an everyday watch. If you love it, reach out to me. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.